There we go. I had my mic muted. Can you hear me? No? Should be able to. Can you hear me? If you can, write it in the comments if you can or cannot hear me. So I don't know. I thought I set up my mic, but we'll see. Okay, you can hear? Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes um, for more people to come in. And yeah, after that, I'll just kind of get started. Um, but if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them now. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and start. Since this video will be um, on the page after the fact, I guess it would be good just to kind of give some background. Um, basically, what I'm doing this video for is for any dads out there, I guess anybody in general, just kind of like give some info on how I was able to, well, not how I was able to, but mostly how uh, my grieving process has been going and what I've been doing to help me get through it without losing my mind, basically. Um, so yeah, basically when we lost Callan, it was really hard for me. I was mostly quiet, um, and I was there for Allie. Obviously, we were there together, and it was just hard. Um, Mostly, I was mad, um, more mad than sad. Um, I think Allie was more sad than mad. But I was just mad because, why us? Um, just to go along with the diagnosis and everything else that he had. He had Downs and he had the heart defect is the AVSD. Um, yeah, so I was just mad basically to begin with, and I was fuming in the hospital room. It was terrible, and basically, um, just kind of let myself stew for a while there, and basically the whole time we are at the hospital is just red. I was just mad the whole time, and it didn't really hit me to get sad until we were home for a while, and we didn't have a boy with us, and it was rough. And I'd say for the first week or two that we were home, it was still red. It was always red, just mad. And it was really starting to affect Allie and I, because I had a really short temper with her. And, every time she opened her mouth, I was just like, be quiet. And it was after we had a really big tussle. We don't really have like huge, massive fights. We have little tiffs here and there. And, to some people, probably to family and whatnot, it looks like we're going through a huge thing, but it's usually I said something stupid and didn't realize it, or she did and she didn't realize it. And, we get over it right away. So, right after we had that, one of the first things that I realized was that I needed to be quiet and listen to her talk, even if, she was talking to me. And I'm a fixer by nature, as I assume most men are, is, when she tells me something, I want to go fix it now. That's my thing. So I don't really listen to her. I hear her initial words, and then beyond that, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to fix the situation. And eventually I learned to just boop and listen to her. And, most of the time she never wanted me to fix anything anyways. It was just, she wanted to be heard. And that's something I still struggle to this day, but it's something that I know that I need to do. So I've been working on that for a while, and I see that my mom put on there, what helped me get past the initial anger. What helped with that was Allie actually suggested I go to the shooting range, and I was like, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, go to the shooting range. So I went to the shooting range and just, took it out on some paper, and it helped a lot. Actually, it was actually really good for me. I know that that's not, some people's cup of tea. Some people don't like guns and all that stuff, but yeah, for me it was, the smell of gunpowder. Yeah, it was nice. And I see that Lynn Roche, he said being single was harder to do all that alone. Oh, I couldn't even. A lot of people say I couldn't even imagine. But once you've been through a situation, you're kind of like, okay, I get it now. But in your situation, you were alone, so I couldn't even imagine. And hopefully you had family and friends there to kind of lean on. And if you didn't, that's just sad. People need to be there more for the people around them, even neighbors, and the community in general need to be there. Sorry, my phone's going on. So anyways, after I learned to just be quiet and listen to Allie, it really helped. And one of the first things that I initially did, right after we learned of Callan's diagnosis, was I started writing in a journal, I guess. And that was really therapeutic for me, because for me, one of the things that held me back from always just being able to talk to Allie and in general, express myself in general, was that I didn't know how to get the words out well. Or I thought I'd just sound stupid, just going blah, 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 all over myself. And writing it out really helped my thought process, to be able to get it out incohesively, look at it, and then get a cohesive idea of what I wanted to say. And then I'd be able to go back to Allie or go talk to one of the kids if I got after one of the kids unintentionally, and kind of say, hey, shouldn't have done that, my bad. So moving forward, another one of the things that really helped me kind of come to grips with things and was relatively mindless, was playing video games. For people that know who I am, I'm a PC gamer. I have consoles, but I mostly play on my computer. and I play on my phone. I guess I can play some games on my phone, but for me, I'm staring at a screen. It's just mindless for me. So that's one of the cats is yelling at me. Um, yeah, I just, I've been playing video games for my whole life, and it's just been always one of those things where if I get frustrated, instead of blowing up at the people around me, I just go and play a game or something. So that, it's been, I can't do it as much as I used to, and I still try to do it as often as I can. But one of those things would definitely help any man going forward, or woman. I mean, Allie plays games. She won't come open with it, but she plays Pokemon a lot. She's a big Pokemon player. So, and I know that her little puzzle games and stuff are one of the things that she does to kind of zone out. And I don't blame her. Obviously. Um, you ever thought about doing an angelversary? It's only party, you and her. Oh yeah. Our boys, we decided to have Callan cremated, and we have him prominently in our. Allie's reacting to me telling you guys that she plays Pokemon. She still does. We have Callan displayed pretty prominently in our house. Not pretty, he's very prominently, and the kid right at eye level for the kids. He's behind glass, but he's right at eye level for the kids, and they get their daily. They go over there and talk to him and everything. It's really sweet to see, especially our older boys, the ones that can kind of grasp it a little bit more. So I'm pretty sure that we'll throw a little something and do something special for him on his anniversary. So, what else? Another one of the things that kind of helped me, overcome things was, I just go drive sometimes. If I'd say, oh, we need to go we're out of toilet paper or something, and a trip that should be 5 minutes turned into like 20, 25, because just sometimes you got to go and drive. And, that's another one of the things. That's something my dad does. He goes and drives when he gets angry, which is very rare. Well, maybe not, but when he gets to that point, he goes for a drive, and I guess that's something that I picked up along the way. And I found that really helpful. And I believe that one of the things that, any dad watching is you go to find an empty parking lot and just open the door and scream at nothing. I mean, if you're that bothered, if it's getting to you that much, and instead of taking it out on, your nearest and dearest, go to an empty parking lot and just, get it out. That really helped me as well. I didn't go to an empty parking lot, but I was in the car and, just kind of yelled in the car, and that worked for me as well. And then another thing was talking to my buddies. I haven't seen a lot of my friends in a long time. But we all group chat with each other, and and we try to call each other as often as we can, because they're busy, I'm busy, and but that's one of the things that really helped was just talking to a friend. Yeah. Oh, and Allie texted me one of the things. Another one of the things that, well, it's something that I do. I used to do, and I still do whenever the kids really start to get to me. And it's hard for me to grasp things. Well, not grasp things, but kind of when I'm getting to that boiling point, is I go take 5, and I go sit somewhere away from everybody, especially if the kids are getting after me, because the last thing I want to do is have them be the brunt of anything. So I usually go take 5 in like the bathroom or something, just sit down and just recollect myself. And even in any situation, I believe that that's something that can help, is realizing when you're getting to that point, to that breaking point, and pumping the brakes, saying I need to go take 5 minutes before I do something stupid to myself or somebody else. And that is something that I believe a lot of men can, um, resonate with. Is a lot of guys don't. I don't want to make assumptions, but I think the socially accepted thing is that men have short tempers, and not socially accepted, probably like the social norm is that men have short tempers, and for a lot of us it's true, and for some of us we're really docile, um, but realizing when you're coming up to that boiling point is crucial in your life and everybody around you's life, because it will definitely help out in the long run. So if anybody has any questions, please um, type them out for me. Let me know what you're thinking. What is your advice at seeking professional support? If it's available to you, go for it. I know a lot of was it HR departments and stuff for companies have I forget what it's called, but they have like an in-house, or they have somebody that they're associated with that you can go to for support, be that a psychiatrist or a counselor of some sort, or a therapist, whatever. I don't know, but I would explore those options. And if you're already seeing somebody, just continue to go. It's same thing. What's that? What'd you say? Yeah, family assistance thing. Um, that would work. I think that would. Um, we have a donate button. I think it's on the website. It's not. Well, it is on the website. It's not like prominently posted on our Facebook, but we do have a donate button. And what we're doing now locally is we're trying to we're basically getting in touch with all the restaurants and everything around here, and we've also sent out tons of letters and to bigger companies to basically help out families in the hospital that have gone through this through infant loss. Because I'm not saying that our experience was terrible, but we had a social worker come in and she's like, I Googled for an hour and a half. I don't know what to say to you guys. And well, thanks, and we had a chaplain come in and she said, all I can do is pray with you guys. And, you know, after the fact, we realized that, we hadn't eaten for 2 days. I forgot all my lotion and razors at home. I hadn't shaved in like 4 or 5 days. My skin was terrible. And it's these little things that could really help, that a lot of people don't think of, that can help out a family in the hospital having to deal with this. Is it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 less things that you have to think about that will not you know be another thing on your mind, because the families already have plenty of things on their mind. And so yeah, that's what we're doing. But yes, any donation would go towards us being able to further Callan's heart and be able to impact families locally and also through Facebook. But there is a donate on the website, which is linked in the about. Let's see here. Should I wait for direction on how I can help the mother through the loss? Well, like I said, one of the biggest things is talking to your significant other. Just talk. She will tell you how she's feeling or what she needs, and if she doesn't, listen to her. If she says, I don't want anything right now, the best thing to do is listen, because at least, yeah, CallensHeart.com is where you can go to. And there's a donate on there, and I think I can tell Ali to throw up the donation stuff up. I think it might be pinned on the Facebook page, but should be able to see it on there. Sorry, the comments are coming in now and it's not scrolling. So when you both started this, I knew this was something I'm supposed to help with. You both are strong and straight. This has helped. Great. That's really what we wanted to do. And honestly, we didn't even start the Facebook page until after it was almost October when we started the Facebook page. And, we never thought it would turn into something like this. We never thought that we'd have groups with people in there active all the time, explaining how they feel. And one of our big things is no trigger warnings. We're all adults here. If you're having a kid, you're an adult. I think you're at that point in your life where, if something bothers you, you can deal with it in your own way. Or mid-October is when the Facebook page started. But if you're old enough to have a kid, if you're at that point that, there's no need for a trigger warning. There's no need for that. And, there's no need for it. We're all adults here. It's also, and if you don't like it, keep it moving, keep scrolling. There's something else there for everybody. And that's something that's been really great to see. And the community has been fantastic. It has helped us a lot as well. Just knowing that there's other people out there that really appreciate what we're doing and also interact with each other in the groups on the page and everything. It's huge. It gives mostly it gives Allie validation, because a lot of people don't realize this, but she's doing it all on her own. I'm here. I help her when I can, because I'm with the kids and keeping them alive, basically, because they are a rowdy bunch and they get into trouble. But she's doing this on her own. She started the website, designed it on her own, the Facebook, all these graphics and stuff that you guys see. She's doing it by herself. And she spends 14 hours a day just pumping this stuff out, and it's really impressive. And I don't know if I'd be able to do that, because there's only so much. I'm one of those people that when I hyper focus, and then as soon as I'm done with it, I'm done with it. So it's it gives Allie lots of validation, and honestly, it's helped her, because she, I know that she definitely could have gone down this deep, dark path, because Callan was born breech and all natural. She took no meds, nothing, and just like all of our other kids, she wanted to give him the same thing that all the other kids have had, and one of our nurses in there had never seen a breech birth before, so she stuck around, even though she wasn't actively participating in delivery, because she's never seen it before. So, I don't want to be a know-it-all and say, it's no big deal. But, I think anybody passing something that size out of them is a big deal, and it would hurt regardless. And just to know that, he's passed away, and she definitely could have gone down a deep, dark path. But, starting all this, and originally starting the website and having the stories come, because the website came first and the stories on the website, that was all first. And then the Facebook page is secondary to that. Really helped her, deal with things in her own way, just like I had to deal with things in my own way. Because, one of the things that is pretty universal now is that grief is not universal. Sorry, there's a cat here wanting some love. So here's Fee. And it really helped her out. So I know she does, and I definitely do appreciate you saying that it's helped you out, and good. Would you say you're more quiet in your grief or more vocal? I don't know if it's Donna. I wasn't hugely vocal. I'm still not. I'm relatively quiet, unless it's something that really grinds my gears. I'd say in the beginning, right after Callan passed, probably I was really quiet. And I really struggled with telling Allie how I felt. Definitely not vocal. And one of the things that I would encourage you to talk to your husband about, one, watch this because it would help him. I think just another dad talking to another one, and secondly, just ask, just say, be honest with me. Do you find out what he needs to do to comes to grip himself? Be that, does he need to go to the shooting range like I did and that let off some steam that way? He can start writing. That's another thing that would really help. I think, like I said earlier, getting those thoughts on paper, even if they're jaggy and out of order, him being able to do that and kind of piece it together in his own way would really help, I believe. I'm not a know-it-all, and I never claim to be, and but I think that would be something, and it's I think that would really help. So, and no matter what you think, if you think your husband or boyfriend, fiance, whoever you had is not affected by this, if they're being quiet and that look on their face is, stone faced, making it look like they're not affected they're affected by this. Believe me, they're affected by it. There's no way you cannot be. And if you're not, you're just cold. And it's pretty blunt to say that, but it's true. And, I think it's him just trying to be strong. And that's good. That's fine. But there's a nice little point there where you don't have to be strong. There's also real, and since he's your husband, I'm pretty sure he can be real with you and just kind of bring it reel back the strong manness back a little bit, because that's something I had to do too. Was like I said earlier, I'm a fixer. Allie said 3 words. I'm like, what can I do to fix it? So, watching from the UK, my daughter was still born full term. Thanks for sharing. Hey, no problem, Jake. Thanks for tuning in. If you had any questions, go ahead and ask. Or any advice yourself. What did you do? Any women or men, whatever. It'll be all on the page after the fact for the people that are already sleeping or not yet awake around the world to be able to see this. But thank you, I appreciate that. And sharing my story is no big deal. It happened, and one of the things that Allie's always said to me and never really connected with me is that men in general don't, what I'm doing right here is not commonplace. If it is, I have not seen it. It's really commonplace for women to kind of create videos. I've seen them. I don't want to make an assumption that women do it all the time. It's easy for them, but I've never seen this before of a dad coming on here and kind of giving his thoughts. So I really think it's something that you can share with any father, dad, because nobody's story is exactly the same. Everybody deals with it in their own way. So if somebody gets a little shard of help out of this, to say, oh, I never thought of that, let me go out and do this. Good. That's big. That's a big thing. And especially for any man to be able to open up to your wife, girlfriend, fiance, and express yourself, that's a huge door. That's a big deal. And I'd say it's one of the biggest ones is communication. Like I said, I still struggle with it. And Allie can attest to that. I really do struggle with it sometimes. And I kind of get lost in my head thinking about everything. And, you just got to be able to check yourself. Because all this is just bigger than you and your feelings. There's multiple feelings, multiple people. And yeah. So moving forward, I would really encourage any dads watching this, if you're not a part of the Facebook groups that we have, well, and ladies, if you're watching and you're not a part of the groups that we have, please join them. They're pretty active. There's always posts and people in there willing to give their opinions on things, or just help and say, hey, I'm here if you need to talk. And I think that would be a great thing for anybody to go in there and do. Also, the angel calendar that we've been working on. I've been busting her tail working on that too. If anybody hasn't seen that, please scroll down on the page. I think it's in there somewhere, or you should be able to see an email that you can send to her to get your angel's date on the calendar, and we do that every day. So that's a big deal. We also have a giveaway going on right now, if anybody hasn't seen that yet. The website has a calendar as well, if you want to see that. And it's also an easy way to get a hold of Allie and send her a date. And to DM her would be a lot easier, because then we can just kind of inject it into the calendar and go off of it from there. And also stories. And I'm still taking stories for the site. That's kind of slowed down just because of what we've been doing locally and with the page and the calendar and stuff. But she still wants stories to be able to put onto the site, which is kind of the bread and butter. That's kind of what she started doing, and still something that she wants to continue doing. So if anybody wants to do that, make sure you head over to the website. That would be a great idea. Yeah. So if anybody has any more questions, go ahead and write them in there. Otherwise, I know it's getting late, at least on the East Coast here of the United States. It's a little past 10. I'll get ready to say goodnight and whatnot. So I'll give it a couple more minutes, and if anybody else has any more questions or anything that they want to ask me, or vice versa, if they have something that they want to share, go for it. Yeah, this is what my second time. Oh, here we go. Stuck in time. Girl, Jake. Oh man, Jake, that's rough. At 24 too, man. That, I know how you feel, like you're in your own head. And I guess the best way to, something that I would do, if I didn't have Allie anymore, or our living children, if they were not by me, I would get out of my comfort zone, man. That's the first thing I would do. Go to the. I take it. Did I read that you're in the UK? Yeah, you're in the UK. Go to a pub you've never been to before. Do something you've never done before that's completely out of your comfort zone, within reason. Yeah, that's hard. And if you're alone, if you're a gamer, boot up those games, play some games. There's a huge community online. It's the internet. There's always somebody out there. Yeah, but I hear you, man. That's that's not. I hear you. I hear you. I'd be scared too, but that's kind of the point, if you're scared to do it, go do it anyways. And I kind of liken that to Allie and I are relatively picky when it comes to food. And some of the best restaurants we've ever been to are the ones that we say, that looks cool, let's go. Without knowing what their menu looks like, nothing. And those are some of the best restaurants we've ever been to. So, I that's the best thing that I can liken it to is, it's not something you want to do, but it's something that you probably should do just to kind of break the mold, because since it happened in 2015 for you, it's been 5 years of this, man. And I think at this point you kind of are stuck in the routine of, you wake up and it's still real to you. And it is, it'll always be real to you. But, it's best thing I can say about that is just break the mold, just switch it up, move if you want to move to a different city or something, whatever, change the scenery, whatever does it for you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like Allie said, what she put in here, afraid of everything that helped you heal. Yeah. I'm very, I don't like change at all. Like I run away from change. I go in the opposite direction of change. But I can say that every time that something has changed, most of the time it has been for the better. Yeah. So honestly, that's what I would do. I just get away, do something I'm uncomfortable with. And you never know. You never know. Yeah. Like I said, break the mold, break the bubble, you know, um, get out, do something completely different, just, off the wall, something that you never pictured yourself doing, do it. Just go do it. Well, yeah, yeah. And you never pictured yourself losing a child and unfortunately that's something that happened, and I guess the only way to kind of counteract that is to do something that you never expected yourself to do in reply, basically. So that's all I got there. I'm not licensed or anything like that, but I'm also a dad, and it's something that I've been through. And like I said, this is just something that I wanted to get out of there. Things that helped me. One of the things that I broke the mold about was talking to my wife. That's not something I did. Obviously, I talked to her. Maybe it was more of like being open with her instead of blowing up at her. Was being receptive to what she's saying to me and thinking about it and then giving it back. That was mold breaking for me. Hey, no problem. Mold breaking for me. So that's about all I can give you. So, alrighty. We're coming up on 40 minutes here. It's a little bit past 10, so I'll give it like a couple more minutes. And if anybody else has anything to add or say or ask, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off, say goodnight, and thank everybody. Yeah, well, yeah, in therapy, like Dana, Donna said. What'd you say? I I hear what you're saying about the eggshells and stuff, and you say to them, if they're willing to listen, you say, yeah, my life is different, but that doesn't change who I am. Um, you're still Jake, right? You're still that same person, just with Dana. I'm used to Donna. I get that. I understand. Only goes so far. Yeah, I believe that. You know, Dana, that the only thing I can think of when I see her name is, have you ever seen the movie True Lies? And Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter is named Dana in that. So I just think, Dana, jump, Dana. Tried counseling. Grief doesn't cover it. Yeah, yeah, Jake. Yeah, I feel you. Healthcare in the U.S. isn't exactly easy um, or cheap. So sometimes you just kind of got to take it into your own hands and do things like this. I would suggest that you join our group on the page. There's tons of people in there, and I know there's other people in the UK um, that would be more than willing to talk to you and help you out with things, maybe give you some advice on. And other people in the UK would probably be more than willing to give you advice on things that they did. I actually have a buddy of mine in the UK. He lives in Portsmouth. Um, but yeah, I know things work differently over there. So, Dinah, I don't know. Now I got to go watch True Lies. Thanks. I have no problem with that, though. I love that movie. Another thing I do is Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon for me is my movie that I like. If I have nothing to watch, I put on Lethal Weapon and I can totally zone to it and just go to my happy place. Because there's nothing better than Mel Gibson and Danny Glover kicking butt. The group is on the Facebook page. Can I ask Allie to link it? Can you link the group? And Allie put a link on here, and okay, she'll put it in there right now. But well, and something my mom says: go to church. Church can't help you, and I know that they have support groups and whatnot in most churches. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how it works over in England, but um, I'm sure that's something that you can look into is your local um, church or anything like that and see what they can offer you, or just go to a service or not. You never know. um, that could help you. It might be for you, it might not. There's no harm in finding out. Oh, you're talking about the brochure at the hospital? Oh yeah, yeah. One of the things that I got a brochure in the hospital. It was in like the grief packet that they had, right? And there I start reading it, and they say, grief is X, Y, and Z. And if you're a man, basically what you're going to do is buy a new car and cheat on your wife. I was like, what is this? It's ridiculous. And I think that was pretty generic. Um, not exactly tailored towards a male going through the loss of a child. Because in my mind, that was the last thing I wanted to do, was go buy a car and cheat on my wife. Mm-mm. No. So that don't believe everything that you read in a book. Um, the books are great resources. and they can give you great ideas, but not every book out there is tailored to you personally. And if you do find one that is, great, good. That, that's what it's there for. So don't believe everything that you read in the books. Yeah. Because everybody's struggle with grief and journey with grief is completely different than the person over here or over there. I'm pretty sure my experience is not exactly like anybody else's, and the sad thing about it is a lot of oh yeah, I actually said that. I said that, and I'm replying to these comments. It actually did say that, and it kind of blew my mind. I was like, how? I threw it out. I didn't even finish the rest of it. We just threw it out and kept the folder and kept it moving. Because the last thing I wanted to do is buy a car, and the last thing I want to do is cheat. So yeah, Jake, that is a stereotype right there. Point in case. No, yeah, no, I threw that out the window, man. It took me a little bit, but no, you're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to feel just like anybody else, you know. And I think that stereotype branches out a lot further than most people think. Because that's what I thought, is that I needed to be, strong there for Allie and stone faced basically. And in reality, that was the last thing I needed to do, because, I just needed to be your sounding board and listen to her. So you're yeah, but I get what you're saying, and I appreciate you saying that, because coming from one that, sorry, Fiona will not leave me alone. You know, those social norms that are out there for men in general, that they can't um, was that grieve, be sad or feel anything, is just no, no. Sorry, Fiona's she's our oldest cat. She's my first cat, actually. And when I met Allie, um, I told her I wasn't a cat person. She goes, "Oh yeah." Um, so then she got Fiona, and it's been curtains ever since then. She was sleeping on my face last night, and she definitely knows this, don't you? Hmm. Yeah, yeah, Jenna, I believe you completely, because it changed the entire dynamic between Allie and I when I started uh, sharing my thoughts with her and getting emotional. Um, Not like bad emotional, the good emotional. um, and we had good cries together. You know, we even laughed, and honestly, and I feel that we've grown stronger. Still, we have our little spats here and there, but overwhelmingly, I feel, and I know that she would echo this, that we are stronger now than we were before. I know it's hard to believe, because you look at the statistics out there, and what is it? 80% or something like that of couples that go through loss of a child or end up in divorce. And it's sad, but it's, there's a statistic out there for a reason. Sadly. It's kind of weird how Facebook has their live thing that it doesn't automatically scroll up whenever there's a comment. Yeah, Carolyn, yeah, I feel you. Show them this video. Yeah, if you guys are still together, that I don't want to make assumptions, but yeah, that would definitely be difficult to feel like you're going through it all alone, and then there's another person there, but it's just kind of like the phantom. You just don't really see them because they hide their emotions, and then that's what I would have done, 100%, until I opened up and talked to Allie and said that I'm not going to go be sorrowful all by myself. Well, and Allie pushed me a lot. It worked out in the end. I was very resistant at first and very annoyed, but it worked. And another thing that helped me was our living children. They've been fun, and then they grasp a lot more than we think. So it's been nice. And they've helped out a lot too, and it was for their sake as well. So Jake, animals are incredible. Yeah, and definitely if you have animals, keep them close. They understand things that you didn't think that animals could understand. Like Fiona here, if any of our kids start crying, like she knows the difference between a fake and a real cry. Like the alligator tears, she won't come there. But if one of our kids is crying for real, she's right there. And same with most of our cats. Pretty much, we have 5 cats, and pretty much all of them will just be like, "Are you okay?" So, yeah, I believe you, 100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we got our newest cat after the fact. Her name's Callie. She's a little calico. I have a soft spot. Um, yeah, and she's been great. She's not skittish at all for a kitten. We got her when she was like 4 weeks old. 5 weeks. Callie, how old was she when we got her? 4 weeks, five. Anyway, she was about 7 weeks, and she just loves our kids. She lets them carry her around and all that stuff, which is kind of weird for a kitten. And she's super docile. I mean, it's yeah. I don't blame you, Carolyn. That's I'd say that's weak. He's that's a very insecure man, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I needed to see our boy regardless. Um, I had to smell him. It's a right, I guess. I still cut his cord like all of our other children. I still helped swaddle him, put a diaper on him, just like all the other kids. And I wouldn't have cared who was in there. My mom was taking photos, for crying out loud. Um, so, hi, Priscilla. Yeah, yeah, it definitely was for the best. I can tell you that. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, uh, even if I didn't think I could handle it, it was something I had to do regardless. And obviously, it was something that I could handle. Didn't want to handle, but I could. Um, yeah, it's a sad situation all the way around there. That sucks. Sorry. Well, Priscilla, since you're new, I'll just explain what I'm doing here. Is I'm just kind of giving my uh, tips and tricks, I guess, to help out with grief as a man, and maybe if your significant other or what have you is kind of having some problems breaking out of the shell, as it were. Um, this is just something to help you identify if need be. So, yeah, Morgan, exactly. That's exactly why I had to cut his cord. I had to put a diaper on him. I had to swaddle him. How I swaddled all of our kids before, and hold him. I had to smell him, even if he wasn't looking back at me um, in a way that I'm used to when you know our kids were born. It was something I had to do. Um, and at the same time, there's no greater honor, and at the same time, there's no greater sadness with having to deal with the loss of a child. Yeah, yeah, Jake, exactly. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and like you said, Carolyn, when you have such a small window of being able to absorb everything, every feature, everything, smell, all that, and minutes count, and who? Yeah, sorry, I don't want to get. I'm making my blood boil. Yeah, but I guess one of the resounding things here is that men share your emotions with your significant others. It'll do you leaps and bounds in the long run. Yeah, more, yeah. I agree. Holding Callan in the cuddle cot was, firstly, I'm happy that we had one because then all of our kids are able to come in and see him, and hold him. But yeah, it's the experience is not like it should be. Obviously, um, yeah, because your arms get cold and everything, and it's just not how it's supposed to be at all. So, and I know it was really hard for Allie because milk was coming in and everything too, and it's just rough. Yeah. So when she held him, it was cold there and all that stuff too. So I can see why want to be warm. What was the most meaningful memory I was able to make? I mean, the whole thing is one big memory that I don't think I'll ever forget. It was cutting his cord, holding him, smelling him. Smelling is every single one of our kids has had a different smell when they were newborn. Um, I don't know how to describe it. Um, and that's something that'll always stick with me. Yeah, so I can't say that there's one specific memory. It was all the whole day, the whole 2 days was a meaningful memory to me. There was no forgetting any of it in any way, shape, or form. Alrighty, well it's getting pretty late here. Yeah, yeah. Well, something Allie and I used to talk about was when, like right after we had Liam and Lance and pretty much all the kids, like why can't you just bottle up that smell and make like a candle out of it or something, or like a like a diffuser? Because I know we kept Callan's blankets and we still smell his blankets. Um, yeah. How did it make you feel as a dad to hear comments? At least you have other kids. Well, okay. At least you have other kids. What? That the other kids don't replace the one that's not here. Every single one has a different personality. Um, what was his personality like? I'll never know. That's going to drive me insane the rest of my life. What does his laugh sound like? What does his cough sound like? What does his cry sound like? It's gonna bother me the rest of my life. That's one of those things that just yeah. Jake Tiger Lily, that's an awesome name. I love that. Hmm. Yeah. Hey, you're always gonna be a dad. Always. That's good. Do they are cuddle cots a big thing in the UK, or are you relatively rural? Or yeah, like I said, yeah, you want to keep that smell like forever. Yeah, Dana, that's you just want to walk away from those people right before you do something stupid. There's no, at least you have more. It doesn't work that way. Oh yeah, the eyes. Yeah, man, that's crucial. Mm. Okay, well, I'm glad they at least have one in there, and I'm glad that the cuddle cow Jake was able to give you that precious time with her because that's 40 minutes you'll never forget. Like I said, it's not you remember one thing. It's that 40 minutes is a memory. You're gonna have that 40-minute memory, and I'm pretty sure that you've played it over in your head over and over again, and it's real to you. You know, you, Yeah, Carolyn, that's cuddle cots are an incredible thing. I wish that they didn't cost as much as they do, because that's so not fair that you were only afforded 3.5 hours. But at least you did at the same time. It's like a lose lose at that point, a win lose, I guess. Jake, that's awesome. I love that, man. Yeah, that's awesome. And you can apply that in your life too. Is you are moving on for her, not moving on, but keeping it moving for her. You haven't stopped living. Um, you know, yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Well, all right, it's getting late here. Kids have school in the morning. Um, I guess this won't be the last time, since this worked out pretty well. I guess, and we'll see what kind of response it gets after it gets posted up on the page here, and we'll probably put this on YouTube at some point. But I don't think this will be the last time. Then maybe this is something I can just keep going. Um, yeah, and maybe I can convince Allie to do something like this too. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. Yeah, Jenna, it is weird. The skin, um, that was something I had a hard time with. Was Cown skin was not what I was used to. Um, yeah, that was rough. Yeah, Dana, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate your input on the stream here, or the stream, and I guess I'll look forward to the next time. This was fun. I appreciate everybody coming out and hanging with me, and Jake, appreciate you checking in and asking some really good questions, and thank you for sharing your story about your daughter, and please make sure you check out the groups, because there are some awesome people in there, and I really think that it would help you out some. So, all right, everybody, take care, have a good night, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you.